Welcome back to A Corporate Time. Our lawyer, Moe DeWitt, is here. How you doing, Mo?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Great
Good.
to see you. Great.
You as well?
I'm glad you know how to dress. This guy has been putting on the pants and putting on he got a new pair of crisp white Seinfelds to wear over to Publix. And it's hot as hell out there, man. Have some fun. This is summer.
No, it was business. I mean, I'm like, Mo's coming
He
here.
looks awesome.
Yeah, no,
He
I know.
looks like
but,
a party pilot.
Well, Mo's the owner. He doesn't. When you.
What are you?
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah,
Hit it
no.
with some facts, Mo. Hit it with some knowledge.
No, I know, but it's like if you, I can't even think of a
Do you know,
scenario.
he goes on all these other shows and they show
Yeah.
us up. He goes on the News Junkie. It's a professional organization. They're
I don't
doing it
know
right. He
about
goes
that.
over to
Yeah,
Tampa.
hold on.
And they're pro. They drink a little. Everybody does.
The News Junkie is as equal as professional as us, at least. I'm just saying that. I'm saying they're at least equal to us. Anyway, professionally.
Professional.
It's a level playing field.
So, how you doing, Mo?
I'm great.
A couple things I forgot to mention before we actually went on the air. If you knew about what I was going to talk about, just so I didn't make it look like,
We'll find out now.
because I wouldn't bring it up.
The News Junkie would do a little powwow ahead of time.
Yeah, it's like, hey, I'm
just
gonna
so you
bring
know,
this up.
before I do this, I'm not going to make you look stupid if you don't know this.
Yeah.
That's what Sean would do. You don't do that.
Well, then Bussecker distracted me with giving out shirts and then he handed me some lists.
He's
I was
always
supposed to
giving
read.
me prizes. He's like, read this list and here's some prizes.
Yeah. And then I'm like, what is happening? And then I forgot about the questions.
Yeah. And then Mo walked in and he was so cash. I didn't even know. I was like, wow, who's this handsome gentleman?
So before we get into the law questions, let's talk about the Moe DeWitt celebrity bowling tournament.
You're saying before we get to the questions. Something we like you're making it sound like a melancholy
very dramatic.
a funeral or something.
No, because I have a question for you, Mo, and this is it may make you feel awkward. I don't know. Because you'll tell me the truth. I know that, but so
he is a truthful man. That
so
is true.
You and I believe you still have lane sponsorships available, or no, not anymore. Just two.
Two left. Yeah.
Two left. And
you asked the wrong question.
so
The handler in the corner was giving the cut sign. Like, okay, I don't talk about it.
Get him out of here.
I saw.
Damn, this guy's going rogue.
I saw you guys.
Did you
release,
get the questions ahead of time like Biden? You did, didn't you? You got the questions ahead. I'll get this man out of here. Get him out of here. This guy's a walking corpse. You get the hell out of here. I'm not going to support you.
So I was seeing on social media different people sponsoring lanes, and as they popped up, I was like, oh wow!
I always wanted to sponsor everything.
Yeah,
You always said like, we can't do that.
No,
That money's
no.
for us to split equally.
No. So I saw like our buddy Eric, our merchman Eric. His company E2 Method, which is a fulfillment company. He sponsored a lane, and I saw that. I was like, oh, Eric's sponsoring a lane.
Business deal.
Yeah. And then I saw one of our richest listeners, Eric Rodriguez.
Oh, yeah.
He sponsored a
Sparkle
lane
Daddy.
with
Bunch of 2 lanes.
2 lanes with his
Oh,
business.
my God. He's my favorite rapper.
It doesn't even do business in Central Florida. It's only in Tampa. The Shingle Masters.
Shingle Masters. That's a cool name, dude. Shingle Masters.
And then I saw Water Boys. That's another BDM that is sponsored it. Ahoy Cruises. Tony Palmiotti. He sponsors nothing.
Oh, my
he
God.
He didn't even sponsor our show.
Oh my! He probably had to sell his tiki bar to sponsor.
And then Pyro Spot, and then I saw Christian's Clockworks, which is Links.
Christian Clockworks. There's a religious Clockworks that sponsors.
It's a Link and Jen's company, their clock company.
It's a Christian clock company.
Is it Christians or Christensens? I don't know. Whatever.
Butchering the name of our sponsors, Tom. What are you doing here?
You're gonna get an
the
email.
Salty Sisters.
You're gonna get an email from the Clock Daddy.
Bart
about that
Merrick.
one.
Anyway, my point.
Where's
being,
ours? Where's the Tom and Jen lane?
Well,
is News Junkie on there? Is News Junkie on there?
No, he's not on there, and that's okay. This is partly why, because So then I started getting contacted by business associates and Tracy. Really, it's just Tracy. But she texts me. She's like, I see these people.
I can't stop laughing.
She's like, I see all these BDM's businesses and stuff like they're sponsoring a podcast. There's a spot. Like I think
Peter Von.
Yeah.
Scotch and Good Conversation.
Peter.
Yeah.
Peter doesn't sponsor anybody.
I know.
Peter doesn't have a pot to piss in.
I think I'm his only sponsor.
That's what I screamed. I scream that to Tracy.
How is he sponsoring
That's
it?
what I said. Well,
Peter lives in a. He lives in a. I can't even.
He buys used suits.
I'm gonna get a lot of trouble here. But it's making me angry because I've been wanting to sponsor. I'm gonna stop yelling. The first thing I'm gonna do is stop yelling.
Okay.
I have been wanting to sponsor things in this town for
Yeah.
damn near my entire life, and the
scream
radio
at the waist.
station was cheap as could get. And who would have guessed that I'd quit the radio station to go work for the cheapest man in the world?
Okay, well, I'm glad you mentioned the radio station because so I'm sitting back and I'm looking at all our friends of the show
Do they
and
have a lane?
podcasts. They're sponsoring
Does
lanes.
Jack Bradshaw's hair have a
Okay,
lane?
well, yeah,
Does Jim
so-
Colbert, the dinosaur egg, does he have a lane?
So I told Tracy because Tracy's like, should we sponsor? Should Tom and Dan sponsor a lane? I like,
And the answer is yes, we should.
She's like, well, because that'll make Moe happy and support. It's for
yeah.
charity,
Who would
really.
make our main clients happy?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And then it's also
I gave
for
you that
charity.
one for free. I gave you that one for free.
Thank you.
And then I said, well, I'm gonna sit back and wait until I see like a iHeart or Sean Watson come in there.
You want the big dogs.
Yeah. Because then if
It'll show you the true value.
Yeah, because I want to come in with the big dogs, not with the these small local podcasts, these little sprinkler businesses.
Wow.
Downplay what I'm saying. It's just like and then I was waiting, and then they didn't show up, so I pulled back. Because I said I can't. I can't. We get T&D Media can't be a liken to all these smaller. We gotta only be
we have to
in
project
the realm of the big boys.
To be fair, iHeart's still waiting to hear back from the bankruptcy trustee whether they're allowed to shell out the money for it or not.
All right, that's
Don't
fair.
talk about it.
That's fair. That is fair.
So, but then I'm like, oh, Moe, like, would that how much
I heard
equity?
Watson sold his piranha. I heard he sold his piranha and used every dollar.
We're actually auctioning it off at the bowling tournament.
It's a signed piranha.
Yeah.
So there's 2 more spots. I'm gonna, we could come in.
Why don't we get
last
those
minute.
2 and get
one
those?
for Tom, one for Dan.
Yeah. I mean, I'll talk to Bus Decker after.
Is there a
because
cheaper lane?
I want a
Is one of the
significant
lanes-
discount.
Is one of the lanes notoriously cheap, or one lane they just don't put oil or anything on it? That's the cheap lane.
There's a rickety lane, yeah. We'll
Give
get
that
you
one
that
to
one.
Tom.
Well, can we sponsor our lanes? Like, if we sponsor our lane, I want to be playing on the Tom and Dan lane. I don't want to be on the Salty Sisters lane.
I want to be on the Salty Sisters lane. I definitely want to be on that lane. That's the only lane I want to be on.
Come on.
Hey, mother, one another. I've always wanted to say that.
Sorry.
I've always wanted to say that.
Well, I mean, to be fair, you guys agreed to come out and do the tournament and appear, so we didn't want to ask too
For the
much
record,
of you.
Yeah, that's what I said.
You're going to be wearing the bear costume.
He agreed for me. I never said it. I don't even know when this event is.
It's a Saturday.
Oh,
and by the
that's
way,
going to be a problem.
there's still pinball tickets available.
Yeah,
Explain
all
that,
the
Mo.
lanes are sold out, but it's the Oviedo Bowling Center and Pinball Lounge. They have a whole pinball area, so it's
Awesome.
all you can play. You can come out, hang out, play some pinball, get some drinks, get some food, whatever you want to do, and it should just be a good time. And so the pinball tickets are, I think, $15 each, and you go to justcallmo.com/bowling, and you can buy them on there. I think there's maybe 30 left or so, something like that.
Oh, okay. And I'm going to be handing out free, while they last, CBDA seltzers. THCA seltzers to children.
So don't
They're
say
only 2 milligrams.
that.
Don't
fine.
admit this on the radio.
Now
fine.
there are trophies that I saw that you posted.
There are, yep.
Now
Are they handmade trophies?
is that for highest celebrity score, or is it total individual?
I know we have like a best team, right? Or and then like a best bowler. Or no, I got to ask Bus Decker.
Okay, him.
Best team,
Best team.
best bowler, best celebrity bowler.
Okay, so there is
Yeah.
a best celebrity
Best
bowler.
celebrity rack.
Isn't there a
Is
worst
that
bowler
one?
too? Needs most improvement. Yes, we don't call him the
okay.
worst. Needs most
All right.
Yeah, I
improvement.
like worst.
just throw it out there. Be blunt
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
And then best dressed too, right?
Best dressed.
What about most personable celebrity? Because I can win that. Because I don't know if you know this, Mo.
Telling your same old dumb story?
no.
No,
because-
come on, man. You got to chirp like me.
Remember the
I'm-
time I jumped Gravedigger?
Yeah,
Any-
I'm the most personable.
No. Anytime. No, but I give.
You don't even
I
like
give
small
my
talking with people.
Of course I
It's
do.
all. It's
You
only
know,
going to be gambling crap.
No, all I do is I talk from the beginning to the end.
but it's
I
the-
give the people my number, my cell phone number. I'm like, hey,
Well, I
I'll
don't do that.
I'm
But
like,
you
I'll
never answer it.
I'm like, I'll ride in your car. What
That's
do you
true.
want from
He
me?
won't answer. I text this guy.
I'll do anything with
I
you.
texted this guy yesterday a heartwarming photo of Andrea's brother's new son, who's 6 days old, being held by Andrea's great-grandfather, who's 101 years old. And I said, look at this. Look at these generations. Nothing. Didn't even read it. Didn't even read it.
I
said
read
it.
I looked at it.
He's, that doesn't matter.
I looked at it. What do you want?
I'm not even going to give it a thumbs up. I'm not even going to give it a thumbs up. In fact, I want
thumbs
to give
up
it a
is
thumbs
passive
down.
aggressive.
No, it means you've seen it.
Yeah. No. Well, if you text me, I see it.
I want him barred. I want him barred from the
Everybody
event. I
sees
want him
it.
barred from the event.
If I text anybody, I know they saw it. 100. Who doesn't see it?
I don't.
Everybody sees it.
Sometimes I don't see text.
Yeah,
I don't have
no,
that.
that's an excuse. Everybody sees it.
I don't have the receipt thing on there either.
No. You never have the red thing.
No.
You tell someone that you read it.
The read receipts.
Yeah.
All
I
right,
used to have that
definitely
on.
turn
Do
those
we
off.
want to get to our questions and stop arguing?
Okay. So I like arguing with
I
Mo.
do too.
At the same crazy thing.
I like getting Mo in here and then like not accomplishing anything.
So anyway, let's get to the law.
Sure.
So this is the question I didn't prep you for.
Perfect.
Well, I mean, it's nothing salacious or
I mean,
crazy.
to be fair, you never prep me for the question.
That's true.
true.
Yeah.
That
But
is true.
sometimes I think I'm like, what if Mo doesn't know about
Sometimes
this?
he texts me when you
And
get
then-
here and he's like, "Who is that?"
And then, but what if I ask Mo a question? He's like, and you start flushing around. And then I'm like, go to break.
Yeah, I should just start showing up at random times and just seeing like if you guys think I'm supposed to be here, just do like fake shows.
Oh,
We've had that.
We've done that
Yeah,
before.
we've done that, and we'll roll, and we'll never make you feel that you were in the wrong at one time.
You'll just show me like, you just sit down and do the show. We've done shows with people we have no idea who they are.
You know what that's called? That's the Steve Winwood, man. You roll with it, baby. Right down
And
the lane.
and then
Never move.
During the interview, we'll figure it out, and we're
Yeah.
like, oh, okay.
And then I'll text Tom sometimes.
So recently, the NFL, got a judgment against them for an antitrust case
For the Sunday ticket thing.
for the Sunday
Yeah.
ticket thing. And so, and it's,
This is just a taste of what his lane will hear on.
no, I'll talk about whatever, any subject I can talk about for long periods of
Except
time.
entertainment news.
And then whatever you want, I'll give you my number.
We're
I'll-
arguing again. Ask your question.
I'll give you my shoes.
Ask your
I
want your stinking ass
I'll let you if you were like autograph my shoes for me, I'll autograph them.
I want
and
you to eat.
You can take them
I
home.
want you to take your. I want you to go in the bathroom and take your underwear off, and then come back and cut a piece of your underwear off and eat it. That's what I want you to do.
Well, if you, I mean, if
I'm bringing scissors.
I'll do anything for
I'm
the
bringing
kids.
the scissors. I want you to eat the crotch of your underwear at the bowling tournament. Cut the crotch out and then choke it down with water like Kobayashi.
It is for the kids. we should say that's for the kids.
Yeah.
So my question is, Mo, and this is the only part that, I mean, it all is kind of confusing, but the number one question I've heard asked, and I was wondering too, is I thought that a business can charge whatever they want for their product. And with this whole thing, a bunch of people are confused. They're like, well, what's the problem? Shouldn't the NFL be able to charge whatever they want for their, their product?
Yeah.
It's their, it's their
When does it become
thing.
like an egregious, like we are being in some way shut out from any type of competition there, right? That's the problem, right?
I guess because it gets into monopoly, and I guess that is where because they're the only person that that determines this. So then I guess because they're price fixing with themselves or turning down lower offers, because that was one of the things too. Like during the court case, I read that like the ESPN offered them like a deal that would have the people pay a little bit less, but also get individual games.
Right.
Have more variety, and
Right.
they turned it
And
down.
they turned it down.
But then I was like, yeah, they could turn down whatever they want. It's
Turn
like
down for what? Yeah. That's what they say.
Yeah.
That is what they
Yes.
say.
Like
that is.
like
It's a legal term.
Like if another company offered us to do BDM subscriptions cheaper, I won't do that.
I'm not gonna do
I want the
that.
most.
Crazy.
Like,
I thought you were dumb for the $195. Okay.
Yeah, so I thought that, but I guess maybe in a corporation or something the size of the NFL, like
Is
that's
this
a
when
whole
we
different.
turn to Mo and we go, you know anything about that?
I'm just gonna keep rambling on.
Just
Mo.
keep rambling. I mean, I haven't looked into it extensively. I think
Yeah.
it has to do with the fact they control all the football games. Obviously, it's a little different there. And then it was the out of market versus in market pricing, kind of how they fix the pricing. And so antitrust is a whole complicated area of law. But I think that's essentially what they were doing, kind of price fixing, depending on the market, where it was maybe cheaper out of market versus in market and things like that, to where it violated the antitrust laws. At the end of the day, really just have to look at the law, and if whatever the law says, it's a federal law, obviously.
Okay.
What they were doing violated that statute essentially. So that's kind of where they got caught up.
And I also heard that, like, I guess stereotypically or historically, juries will rule against any giant corporation for the most part, and more for the people.
Yeah, we must have read the same article because I read that.
Plugging John Morgan over there for the people.
No.
Do you not know who your sponsor is, Tom?
I mean that that they're just like a jury's gonna always side for the small guy.
Well, yeah, I mean, and that's why, when like we have car accident lawsuits, they don't really let us put, even though the defendant may have insurance, the jury's not allowed to know that because the insurance company doesn't want them to know that, because typically juries, if they hear this big corporation, they're going to be like, oh, it's a drop in the bucket of the big corporation. They award bigger verdicts historically. So that's why the jury's not allowed to know whether there's insurance or not. They just get to know the names of the plaintiff and the defendant.
Okay, I did not know that.
Yeah.
So, and I imagine that people just assume the person has insurance.
I don't know. I think a lot of people don't necessarily assume that because they go in and they just hear it's a car accident. They hear, Tom Vann versus, Daniel Dennis, and they don't know if Daniel Dennis has insurance or not. Even though really, it might be Geico's lawyers over there, and
I do know. I can tell by the name.
There's no insurance.
I can tell by only your name if you have insurance or not.
It's like a magic trick.
Yeah, and I'm 30% wrong sometimes. So okay, now we have an actual question that.
Well, it's a good tie-in because we went right into we're going right into like automobile accidents. This one is something that I've never thought about. We have somebody that was a passenger for a carpool. It's a rideshare program, and they were hit by another car. The accident was severe, and they sustained injuries and will require ongoing medical treatment. They're unsure on how to handle the situation since multiple parties were involved. I guess that's what's making it sticky, is that you've got somebody else driving, you're just a passenger. You've entered in, I'm guessing, a rideshare agreement, or maybe it's not. Maybe it's just loose and it's just the four of you at work have decided you're going to carpool. Are there any, is anything legal there? Is just agreeing to ride together a contract in some way?
Well,
like, how does that all work?
Not really. I mean, the nice thing as a passenger is you're never, liable typically. So either the driver of the vehicle is going to be liable or the person who hit the driver is going to be liable. So typically, depending on how the accident happened, you're going to be suing one of those two people, either the driver of the vehicle you're in or the vehicle that hit you, or sometimes both if it's kind of a shared liability situation where maybe both of those parties are at fault. So, you want to investigate what the insurance coverage is for not only the person who hit them, but also the driver. There may also be uninsured motorist coverage that could apply. If you have your own uninsured motorist coverage, even if you're not in your vehicle, that could still apply. So there's a lot of little complicated things you want to look at to see all the potential coverages that are available. If it's an Uber or a Lyft, if they were held partially at fault or at fault, then there's insurance through Uber or Lyft that could apply. So there's a lot of different avenues there and a lot of different angles.
What if you are in an Uber or Lyft and you get injured in a car accident? Because I know Uber and Lyft have their own insurance.
They do, yeah.
But I imagine that it complicates things a lot because now you have to go through Uber or Lyft's insurance. And
just sounds wrong just doing that, right? It's like, they're going to pay me.
It seems like they have their own attorneys that are going to not want to pay. Is it harder?
No, it's not necessarily hard. No insurance company wants to pay.
Yeah.
Actually, we had a Uber or Lyft case for a BDM who ended up using that money to buy a home through your wife in Bart Merrick.
No, really?
Yeah. Crystal told me that at the Land Cruise.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, it's just like anything else. Insurance companies never want to pay, but you go after them. You hold their feet to the fire. You file the lawsuit if you have to, and you just essentially try to force them to pay.
For the record, I've always wanted to burn someone's feet. Like put their feet. And just see what happens. Will it start bubbling up?
Yeah. Well, the key is to put their feet in the pots and then bring the water up to boiling. And
so they don't know.
Yeah, it's called frog feet.
So I never knew that.
So it boils them, but if you do it slowly, then
they don't know.
Yeah, they don't.
You've really thought this through way too much. Too much.
You should say the things we think about.
You just put the feet in the boiling water.
Yeah.
They'll jerk
they'll
around.
Hop right out.
Yeah. You have to boil them slow.
Right
Make you feel like a nice warm bath.
You know what? I was wrong about you. Let's try this one right here. I think we got time for one more. Dear guys, I work in a warehouse with significant safety concerns, particularly regarding the equipment we use. It is old and never maintained. Recently, a colleague was injured, and it has raised serious concerns among the staff about our safety and legal rights. Could you help me with some information on what I can do to get the ball rolling? A lot of the stuff that we use is old, and it's getting bad. Mark.
Well, the simplest thing you can do is, put it in writing to the company that you have these safety concerns. So if something happens, you've kind of put them on notice already. Document it.
Is that is this like anything else? So you see stuff that is bad in your warehouse. Let's say it's a forklift.
Right.
Can you just start snapping photos of stuff that you deem bad and that's as good as any?
Well, you can, but you want to put them on notice. The idea is that you gave them the opportunity to fix it. You want them to fix it, and they refuse to fix it. So that's what can kind of open the door in some extreme circumstances to punitive damages and things like that. So if you put them on notice, that's kind of the first step there.
Gotcha.
Now, of course, you can always quit your job and leave if you don't feel safe working there. You could also contact OSHA or an organization like that. Now, with some of these court rulings, they may or may not have much power anymore.
But
at
if you're a
least
whistleblower, you end up dead, right?
Well, obviously, that's what we learned from Boeing.
Yeah. You start telling them, you're like, they got faulty forklifts. Next thing you know, got a cute
but as far
necktie.
as far as liability goes, you want to put them on notice. That's the key to it.
That's why, as a business owner, I learned never to respond to employees' concerns. And,
is that why you don't have any employees anymore?
Yeah.
Well, anytime they're like,
you don't
hey,
read emails, there's no notice.
They're like, hey, I'm going
to put you on notice.
There's the aggravated assault incident. So, then you never, that way you could always say, like, I didn't see no email.
Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
I didn't see no email.
Yeah, and then
you two are running a hell of a company here. Let me just tell you that.
No, because then when you respond, there's a paper trail, and then they turn it into court.
Yeah.
I see, and then
I've stopped putting things in writing, which means I don't write back to any of our listeners anymore. I don't write them back because they hold it against me.
Never put in writing text. I learned texts are real bad.
Text is the worst one. Text is the worst one.
Yeah, text will come back and bite you in the ass.
I only use Truth Social and WhatsApp. That's all I use because it's safe. It's the only place that's safe.
Yeah. Can you get your text from
erase? No.
Do they erase at a certain point?
No.
Or do they stay forever?
No. Well, they reset every 7 years. I think that's
Can
it.
you subpoena texts from 10 years
ago?
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Is there
which reminds me of one of my favorite stories.
Infinite record of them?
I got cheated on. And I emailed the girl that cheated on me from the radio station. I can tell the story, right? That's a good way.
No, come on. It'll make Moe think differently of you.
I don't think it will. I think it'll make him know I'm a passionate lover.
Okay. Just what I wanted to know. I've always wondered about that.
So this girl cheats on me. So I get on the air, and I'm like, oh no. I just start emailing back to her. I'm like, you just wait. I'm going to tell I'm going to use 100,000 watts of real radio and tell everyone how much of I'll use a better word, how much of a hussy floozy you are. And then that girl forwarded that email to my biggest boss, Linda Bird, and I got called in the office. And I had to sit there while she read the email of all the things I told my girlfriend I was going to do on the air. Of all the bad things I was going to say about her. Like these bad words. And she read it. She read it all, into my face. Read all of it.
And you just say, I was just bluffing.
It's a joke comedy. It's no big deal.
It's all a bit.
Yeah, it was AI. See, I couldn't have said that. It was a long time ago. You can't say that.
How is Spain, Mo? Because I had a question about the legalities of the running of the bulls, but in Spain,
there's no laws.
That's what I thought.
We have a rogue question from the chat room.
Yeah, what is it?
Question for Mo. Costco recently announced if you park in a spot that you're not supposed to, that they will revoke your year-long membership without offering a refund. Is this legal?
Well, when you get a membership at Costco, you enter into a contract. So it's the terms of that contract that nobody reads that are actually binding. So, as part of, if it's not in the contract you signed last year, when you go to renew, it'll probably be in that contract for future years. And so, if it's in there and you agree to it by getting a membership with them, then it's legally binding.
In which case, I get a new membership using a mustache, and I hide a Duke within your Costco.
Has there been judgments where the judge ruled that the contract there was too much fine print in a contract that it was unreasonable to think someone was actually going to read 30 pages of fine print.
Oh, you mean like that's the the gimmick?
Because I feel like most people, the majority of people, don't ever read.
Oh, now it's faster than ever because you
Okay.
can just use the little copy and paste squiggles of your name, and you can just go find the digital X's, and you can on an iPad you can just
as fast as possible.
Yeah, and you're just tapping them all.
Yeah.
I mean, if the contract's too overreaching, there are certain statutes that limit things they can put in contracts. That gets litigated a lot with arbitration clauses, whether the case has to go to arbitration or not, whether the arbitration clause was binding or not, especially with nursing home lawsuits. Typically, if you put somebody in a nursing home, there's an arbitration clause in there saying that you can't sue the nursing home in court. And so, because of public policy, sometimes that's enforceable, sometimes it's not. So if the contract is overreaching, then certain provisions could be deemed not enforceable.
God, I have a feeling I'm going to end up in a nursing home.
I
think about it all the time.
Yeah. Andrea's already done the research.
I know.
She's looked at.
I check her history all the time. all the time.
Old folks' homes.
Do you ever check your wife's history?
No. Don't.
should. You
never
should.
looked. I've never been suspicious of anything.
No. I'm not saying suspicion. I'm just saying
I want to check it
to invade their privacy a little bit.
Like if Crystal.
Curiosity kills the cat, man.
If Crystal had a diary, I would never read it.
She still has a box of love notes from old boyfriends.
I don't want to know the truth.
Yeah, I know.
I don't want to know
America doesn't.
I don't want to know what people think about me. I don't want to know their opinions on me. My wife's opinion.
It's bad,
my
buddy.
kids. I just want to live thinking only what I think.
You're doing a great job.
Everybody should why am I gonna start getting into if someone I've had this before where someone butt dials me and then the phone's on and then I hear them talking in the background, I hang up immediately because I'm I don't want if they started saying oh, Tom Vann, let's talk about him, I couldn't be on the phone and listen to it.
But the fact that you think that they would say that says a lot about your ego, dude. I never have I had one the other day. I went to look at it. It was I got a voicemail that's 9 minutes long. I go to look at it. It's somebody else talking. I never once thought, better clear this whole 9 minutes to make sure that they're not talking about Dan. I never think they're talking about me.
Yeah, but what if they do you listen to it?
No.
Oh, okay. All right,
I would, but I don't listen to it thinking better not listen to this because they may be talking about me.
Yeah, well, sometimes people talk ass.
You have a reverse ego.
And then, what do you mean?
That's like a reverse ego.
Well, I don't want to know. Listen.
Because you're assuming they're talking about
Yeah. Well, I talk a lot of ass.
That's why.
A lot. And then I think to myself, I would check my phone. I'm and then I'm terrified. There's some long call that I was on.
Oh, I thought we had one more in here. Oh, God, I can't find it now.
So anyway.
I got one more here if you want to do it.
Yeah.
You want to knock out the last one? Okay. Here's our final one. Let's see. It's this one. Hello. I recently received a notice from my homeowners association regarding the color of my front door, which made me think, are they living in my neighborhood? Because that sounds.
Oh, yeah. Well, we got to notice red curtains.
Yeah.
I remember that.
This may be a Baldwin thing because the door thing here is a very big deal. I reviewed my guidelines provided when I purchased the home, but there seems to be some ambiguity. Thank you, Mo. About the approved colors. Could you advise me on how to proceed with the matter without making it worse?
Well, you have to ask for your condo or homeowners association documents to see what the actual rules are and what's stated there. Now, sometimes you get these kind of rogue people who may be on the HOA board or something like that who are enforcing things that aren't actually in the rules. So you have to take a look at the rules and see what they say. And if it says you're limited to certain colors or that you have to have your door color approved by an architectural board. That's a thing sometimes. If you're going to paint a door or a house a certain color, you have to get board approval to do that. So you just need to see what your docs say, basically.
Oh, speaking of that, this has to do with us.
What we do?
So
Is it the trash can?
More lawsuits against T&D Medical.
Trash can
no. We recently
gave up on that.
we called. Our AC broke. We called American Air and Heat. They came by, fixed it. So then I sent the bill to our landlord. I'm like, hey, we fixed our AC. Here's a bill. I'm like,
Did
I
you
can
say
take
it
it
like
off.
that. Oh man, it's probably why we got a bad reaction.
And he's like, you're responsible for this.
He did.
And then I'm like, what? And he's like, you're responsible for everything. And I'm like, what?
He's like, you are responsible for it. We didn't say it like that.
And then I look back, I can't find the damn lease or whatever, and there's no record of it or whatever.
Again, it's a hell of a company you two are running here.
Yeah.
And then I'm like,
We
oh,
can't find it.
Well,
It's
what the
somewhere.
hell?
It's somewhere in here digitally.
yeah.
We
it's
have
gone.
it in here digitally.
So what happens, Mo, if you can't find the lease you signed, you have no idea. The guy just saying, you're
Can I ask
responsible
him?
for
Can I
this.
say like, hey, send me a copy so I can review it to see if you're right?
Yeah, you can ask him for a copy of the lease. He should probably have one.
Yeah, no,
Somebody should have one.
You won't respond to email.
I thought once you signed it, like I don't know about you guys, but once I sign anything, I throw it away. I'm like, it's signed.
Yeah.
Why do I need to keep it? It's locked in.
Yeah. So can you just say you're responsible for everything?
Yeah,
Like,
In a
what
lease,
if that,
yeah.
What if that
absolutely.
says in the lease and I just signed it? It says there, he wrote it in on the bottom, you're responsible
Yeah,
for
would that
everything.
count? Let's say he did write it into the bottom. Like,
And I didn't read it for sure.
Yeah, and then he
Yeah,
wrote.
I don't even have it.
And then he wrote like just what he said. He's like, "You are responsible for everything," and we signed it.
I mean, if you signed it after he wrote that in there, then there's some interpretation as to what everything means, but that is a
Man, I
contract.
hope he doesn't decide we need to pleasure him. That would be horrible.
I'm going to start
man.
ripping down the drop ceiling.
Oh yeah, I'll tear this place apart. I'm a maniac. I'm a certified maniac.
Yeah. Like, we'll start tearing it apart.
We started the conversation talking about Chris Rock and how I'll fight him, or I'd fight Will Smith. I'll fight our landlord.
Sorry, Mo. It's the Just Call Mo Celebrity Bowling Tournament this Saturday. It's at the Oviedo Bowling Alley, correct?
Yep.
And come by.
You know what makes me sad? The whole chat room, every single person is like, it says it in there. They're idiots. Every single person is saying that.
Well, there's no way to know. That's the problem.
No, there's a way to know.
Anyway, so come hang out with us on Saturday.
Yep.
Where
Come
can
play
you,
some pinball. Come hang out. Come have a couple drinks and say hi. I'll let you throw a ball in my lane.
And where can you purchase the pinball passes?
JustCallMo.com/bowling.
All right.
And what
perfect.
about gear? If people is like, can you give us any previews? Is there any new stuff? We got the summer tanks out, right? Are
Summer
they
tanks are coming.
They're
on their way.
Okay.
We do have some bowling shirts that we're going to be selling.
Hey.
Again, I should say, we didn't say this. All the proceeds from this event go to Rosie's Adventure, which is a charity for children with cancer. So we're going to be selling T-shirts
That's
out
awesome.
there. All that money, not just the proceeds, every dollar, goes directly to the charity.
Good,
so
good.
we'll have that. We'll have some other merch out there. So come out. It should be a good time.
Did you really sell over 100 of those tank tops?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because when I saw that, I was like, how
But they were
is
cheap,
Mo?
right? They were like $5.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Is Mo selling more product than we are?
We take a loss on this. I mean,
Yeah. We take a loss on ours. Trust me.
yeah, but I was like, how is Mo doing more merch than we are?
I mean, he's got a merchandising manager.
I know.
He is like a promotional powerhouse in Bustegger.
Yeah, but I thought it was a popular podcast.
No, on its way down. On its way out.
Yeah. Oh,
Every day
God.
when I wake up, I look up to the sky and I say, thank you, God, for letting me do this podcast one more day. One more day.
All right, but I do the opposite when I pull up to work. Anyway, all right, let's take a break. We'll be right back with more corporate time.
Oh, it was really funny. My cheeks hurt. God, you guys are nuts. That was super funny. Thank you, buddy. We appreciate you, man.
thank you for doing the tournament.
Oh man, no thanks needed. We like doing that kind of stuff, and especially when it's like we've done so many charity events that weren't quite charity events that when we get to do the real ones, we enjoy it. So.
I put you next to Drew Garabo.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
rad.
And somebody else on the other side.
I'm not picky about it, but that will be cool because it'll be good to see Drew.
Yeah.
All right, where's that go? That's Tuesday.
Oh, actually, okay, yeah. You're next to Drew, and then you're next to Dan, and you're next to Sean.
Okay.
Oh great.
Wow.
Tuesday 3,
It's like a fist fight.
Tuesday 2.
You'll be happy to know that you are actually in the middle of the bowling alley, and I was told that the more popular people should be in the middle.
All right. Okay.
Wow, we're still on here.
Harder on the left and right, on the far side.
Yeah.
I like to be near the bathroom.
Yeah, you got a weak bladder, especially when he gets competitive. He starts peeing a lot.
Yeah.
This is Tuesday 3, I'm guessing, because it's 32.
Yes.
Or?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry.
And so we just have to come back and do Tuesday 2 and 4.
Yeah, but they're little.
Yeah. Smalls.
Are you calling me Smalls? I'm kidding. I'm like, I feel like I'm in a funny mood today. I like being silly. Well, thank you, fellas.
Yeah, thank you.
Good seeing you as always.
If you need anything, just let us know.
See you Saturday.
Yes, sir.
Just be there no later than 2:30. Starts at 2, but you can get there a little later.
I'll be there too.
Bowling starts at 3, as per the email I sent to every celebrity that has not read it.
Yes, sir.
I've got like 3. When should I be there?
Yeah, that always happens. Every event we've ever done is
I don't know
that.
what else to do. Like I can't like
Just take
track
the van,
it.
pick 'em up, and bring 'em back.
It's hard, man.
That's all right.
I've
I'll
tried to
figure
get
it
better
out.
at that. Where
Foot golf was hard. We'd have the same thing.
Instead of texting the person, I'm like, let me check my email to see if I can get these details. I do that on Google too because I yell at myself because like there's no reason to ask you.
You actually are really good with it. Like even before copy and stuff, if there have been copy changes, rather than just go like he'll literally sit in there and search his email until he finds it because he knows he has it.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'll just like, what do we gotta do?
All right, cool.
Well, thank you guys.
All right.
Thank you.
We'll see you on the weekend.
I'm gonna pop over there for a second, make sure everything's good.
Well,
I gotta
see
make
you
some chicken parm.
Saturday?
See you guys
Oh
later.
yeah, we'll go in. Where are you going today?
Primrose Lanes just did a chicken parm sandwich. So
Oh, God.
Oh, I know that's gonna be really good.
hopefully.
Their food's
Well,
pretty good.
all their food's good, man. I mean, their burger was really good.
I should get a photo of you guys. Hold on.
Oh
Oh yeah, let's get it.
Plus, Decker's Dan for this.
Hold on, I'll hold my shirt up too.
Oh, nice.
I'll hold my shirt up. We'll get one.
I got to circle back with you about that one idea that we talked about
Yeah,
like a month or so ago.
Yeah. Just let me know whenever you want to talk about it. Because we can do whatever you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
Or should I
let's
get-
look at one.
Yeah. I noticed that the other day. I was like, what is that?
Straighten that out.
I think I ate an entire bottle of the first one you gave me.
Nice.
I've been trying to ease back up hot sauce. It's
Some people love that stuff. There's like one guy who orders it in the case.
I've been having little baby stomach issues, little tummy problems. You know, I've been pulling back. I used to be like Mr. Habanero. I was like,
Take it easy a little bit.
yeah, pull back just a touch. We're all listening to you, Pete.
Where did you go in Europe?
So
I
we
saw
went-
a lot of pictures.
Yeah, we flew into Madrid, then we went to Sevilla, Valencia, Barcelona, then we went over to Portugal to a town called Cascais, and then went to southern Portugal, which is like Algarve,
Okay.
and then went back to Madrid.
Oh.
That's such a cool area.
It was cool. It was too long of a trip. Like we should have done like 2 weeks and then like less cities. Just like living in a hotel for a month and like ordering every meal out just gets old.
It does get old,
But I
yeah.
just felt like fucking gross after like 2
Yeah, I
weeks.
get real like sodium-ish. Like
Yeah, that's
I
how
get
I was,
when
yeah.
we were flying a lot. I felt puffy and like I was like,
No matter what, eating out all the time,
It's
like,
gross.
it's different. Like no matter even if you eat at restaurants that are high quality food, it's just
Yeah, and then like the culture there is like alcohol's cheaper than water. So like the first 2 weeks I was like drinking nonstop. So like beer was like $2 or a bottle of water's like $4.
yeah.
Well, the beer's not bad.
Yeah. Plus you're on vacation.
Yeah, you're on vacation, and then you're like after a while, it's like Jesus, I can stop.
Yeah.
Well, then you also like for me, like if I'm on vacation and I start drinking and it just seems to be like it's all beer, I get like a perpetual like where everything is like sluggish.
Yeah.
You know, like you get like labor by it. Yeah.
All right, you ready? All right, looking good. Excellent.
Awesome.
Thank you guys.
Love you guys. See you this
Saturday.
weekend.
See you
Yep.
Saturday.
See you Saturday.
Perfect.
I'll wear my shirt.
All right.
Go.
See you out there.
See ya.
We got these little guys to do.
Yeah, 2 little segments.
Yeah, that was funny. Really funny. I hope other people think it's funny. All right. Did you know what you wanted to talk about here, or?
It's totally open. So we
All
got
right.
Tuesday 2 and let's see.
Okay, yeah, we covered that one. Ham radio. I've got some voicemails I can do.
Okay.
Since they are small. They're small. They're little segments. I thought I had one more story, didn't I? Or no, I did those 3. No, I didn't have another one. It's fine. I'll just do these. I did them this morning. There we go. All right. Do you know how much time we need?
I don't. I know the
I
first
wanna
segment. I think we need. There's like a 10-minute. I
All
think
right.
2 10s.
Yeah, we need an 8 and a 10. Yeah.
Okay.
8 and a 10. Which one's first? So we need the 10 first.
Okay.
That's segment number 2. Okay. All right. Please bring us back, sir. In 3, 2.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. What do you want to talk about?
Let's jump into some voicemails. I've been getting a decent amount of them, but we could always use more. I love voicemails. I love hearing y'all's questions, what you guys want to talk about. You can do that through our app. We have a free app with all of our content on it. You can search for both Android and iOS. Just search A Mediocre Time or Tom and Dan, and you can find it. Or you can call this number, 1-844-TOMNDAN. And you will be able to leave us a voicemail like this quickie right here, but this is sort of silly.
Tom, Dan, BDM Mike.
BDM Kylie.
Listening to the old radio in the car. iHeart's hair metal station is called Slippery When Wet. Gross.
What? Okay.
BDM for life.
Bye.
It's not gross. It's not gross at all. That's an album by Bon Jovi, sir.
Yeah.
It's not gross. Even Tom knew that.
Yeah,
I saw your eyes light up.
Yeah. I mean, that's a famous.
It's a famous album.
80s Bon Jovi album.
Yeah, sorry. That shouldn't have just fired off. But yeah, that's a very famous album. Have you noticed that Bon Jovi is everywhere? He's Men's Health. It's like how to, and then I think he recently got voice surgery, and they're doing a documentary on him, like going. I could be wrong on this, but I think there's a documentary about him like going and getting like his nodes surgically removed on his throat.
Okay.
Sometimes
did he like go out of the country to do it?
I don't know if he went out of the country. I'm gonna look it up real quick here, but like sometimes I think about that for me because I can feel the damage that I've done to my throat just from talking so much.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think, because I do enjoy singing, and I know that my range in singing has drastically changed.
But that could be just because of age too, right?
Could be. It's some of that too, but there's some damage in there. Like when I ruptured that vocal cord years and years ago, I don't think it fully healed, and then I think that it just like continued to get worse. And then we started this company, and then we started for all intents and purposes, broadcasting more than we ever have.
You know, like there are certain surgeons that are like the best in the industry with doing surgery on certain parts of the body. Like in the NFL, there's like a famous surgeon that just does ACL tears.
Right,
and
he's like the guy.
Yeah, and he does that for, professional athletes. So like people just go to him, he's sought after for this particular surgery, right? And you're dealing with, someone's entire career and, potentially tens of millions of dollars. Like if you do something wrong, this could cost this person tens of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And, you're operating on a famous athlete.
Sure.
And then I think like, man, I wonder if that's nerve-wracking, if that goes through their mind. And then I remember that heart surgeon we talked to at the Children's Hospital.
Nemours, yeah,
and
the children's surgeon.
And I imagine he's like, this guy is much like this other heart surgeon where that he's so much of a genius on the spectrum surgeon that those kind of things don't ever, he's like a human robot.
I also think the surgery,
he's not thinking this is Tyreek Hill.
But if you think about it, like it's kind of like I'll use me as an example. It's like what I do in here. I've done it so many times, and I'm so well versed in it that whatever that surgery is, it may not even be that complicated.
Yeah, it's routine.
Just he's the best at it, and they go with him because he's done 10,000 of them. It's like Dr. Filatowski, really. And the guys, I forget the number that they wing around on the station about how many of the procedures he's done, but it's a lot, right? So he's like the guy.
And so it doesn't even enter their mind that this is Bon Jovi's vocal cords, and then if you screwed up, you could screw up a legendary musician's voice.
Yeah, he did undergo vocal cord surgery in 2022. He faced significant issues with his voice, including one vocal cord atrophying and the other thickening. This led to major surgery where a Gore-Tex implant was used to rebuild his vocal cord. Since then, he's been in recovery and continues to work with vocal coaches and therapists to regain his full singing capabilities. Gore-Tex, huh? Got a Gore-Tex vocal. I would get a Gore-Tex vocal cord. I would do that. I bet I can't afford a Gore-Tex vocal cord. I bet that's Bon Jovi only. But you got to be like old Celine Dion or
I didn't know that there are
Bon Jovi.
like prosthetic vocal cords.
That's a first for me too.
Like I thought you would have to use.
Gore-Tex is what you buy for your Columbia like windbreaker, right?
Yeah.
My tent is made of Gore-Tex.
Yeah.
Do I really want that in my vocal? I mean, maybe I don't understand what a Gore-Tex vocal cord. You want me to look that up?
It's probably like like there's artificial heart valves and stuff, and like they just figured out you could use medical grade Gore-Tex, and it operates the same as a human vocal cord or whatever.
How do you figure that out? You start testing stuff. You start looking around. Some guy's got Timberlands on. You're like, hey, have we tried Gore-Tex?
There are human beings that their brains, they're so different than the way we think that these people are super geniuses.
All right. An incision is made to the neck.
Spend their whole life.
An incision is made to the neck. A biocompatible material. Okay, Gore-Tex is used because it's biocompatible. It's inserted beside.
Does that mean like your body won't reject it or whatever?
Yes. The implant pushes the vocal cord towards the midline. It lays underneath it. Think plywood under your vocal cord.
Okay.
I think that's what
to support it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like your attic. It's like you can't walk up there. We're using particle board. Let's get some. Get some plywood.
Does it get like saggy or whatever? Or,
it does. One of them they said for him he had one that was atrophied, gotten smaller, and they had one that was thick where it wouldn't vibrate. So I'm guessing the atrophied one you'd prop it up. I don't know what you do for the thick one. Shave it down? I don't know.
Like as you get
it's a small flexible strip or wedge. It's tailored to fit the individual's anatomy. It's a one-off. It's created in the lab.
So remember I was telling you about my thumb? I got like trigger thumb or whatever. And
that does sound cool though.
So I
got IBS. That does not sound cool. Irritable bowel syndrome. You got trigger thumb. That sounds like you're a cowboy.
No,
it's like, how'd you get trigger thumb? I killed too many people.
It's super painful, and it's gotten to the point where I can't really bend my thumb anymore without extreme pain.
When do you have to bend your thumb?
Well, that's what I because
hitchhikers don't bend their thumb.
So I went to the doctor. They gave me steroids and ibuprofen or whatever. Done nothing.
I thought you were looking a little thicker. When you're kicking the dog around.
When he gave it to me, I was like, "Oh, the only thing that works is fentanyl. This is stupid." And I knew it wasn't going to work, and of course it didn't. And then he's like, the next up is like shots and then surgery or whatever.
Can I start calling you Tom Thumb?
And so I am literally waited out. I was like, well, I'm 42. Maybe I
30 more years of thumbing. 30 more thumbing years.
And like maybe I just ride it out and just let it go instead of the extreme pain in the ass of going back to the doctor, then paying for the injections, then going back inevitably for the surgery and the goddamn.
Can you do therapy with it? Can they hook it up to a thing, like a little weight set, and you do like movements with it?
It's because
a splint.
It's because the damn. Whatever the tunnel that my tendon that moves my thumb goes in and out of, that has become inflamed and narrowed, and that's what caused
it's stiff now.
So it just sticks in there through some injury or whatever. So it's not like any therapy will help. It's like we have to
get in there and start cutting up.
Yeah, cut it up. And then, but I honestly started thinking like I'll just go the rest of the time.
Well, what can you do? Like, what does it limit your?
Not really. It's just a pain in the ass.
I guess you can't do the chicken dance.
No,
you can do the chicken dance.
Yeah, my thumb is straight. I just it'll go. I can bend it.
So
but
when do I need to do this? I guess playing video games. Would it hinder you playing video games?
Well, I have to now straight thumb text. It's texting.
Is that hard? You have to text like a black lady with long nails.
Yes.
Oh my God! You have to text like a black lady with long nails. Yes. You're Shanique with thumbs.
Yeah. So that's I have to text with the straight thumbs. And but I'm getting better at it. so
you will learn. You will adapt.
Yeah, it's the same as the black lady.
And I'll say something. The nails are
she's
beautiful.
Good. She's fast.
The nails are beautiful.
Yeah, she's fast at it. And so
I would prefer you to have the nails and learn how to type than not have the nails
And then-
just regular type.
But-
the
and then-
world needs more color.
And then Crystal's like, just go get it fixed. You can't go
That's what women say.
20
They're so
years.
weak.
And then, but I was like, yeah, but imagine if I did go the rest of my life and I'm like 75, I'm dying of something. Yeah.
32 years ago,
I'm
they
straight
said
to-
they were going to give me injections, and I said, no dice.
Yeah. That my pop-up did that. Like
Yeah.
his hands, all his fingers were cut off through like airboat props and stuff. And he's like,
Stuff,
yeah,
and
he's
they
like,
were
the
not.
doctor said I should get this fixed. Never got it fixed.
Yeah.
And he
He's
died
like
like
Cotton
that.
Hill.
He just died with all these
Yeah.
ailments
My
that
dad
he
had
just
to
never
sleep
got it
with tennis
fixed.
balls in his hands
Yeah,
because of the
yeah.
carpal tunnel from driving.
Yeah. And I think that's why he just didn't want to deal with it anymore. I don't want to deal with going to all these stupid appointments and then I have to go for the checkups and then all the pain in the ass. I just deal with the straight thumbs for 30 years.
you
And then I
made-
tell my sons.
You made your case. What do your sons think? If you were to ask
They don't
Max
care.
and Tom, come on,
They
man.
don't care
do.
about nothing. No,
If
no.
you said, hey, guys, what do you guys think? Help Daddy out. Family meeting. Daddy's got a thumb problem. He hurt at snowboarding. You guys like Daddy, love Daddy's thumbs. Should I get it repaired or should I tough it out? What do you think they would say?
Now you're leading the witness.
Was
here.
I? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Then
yeah,
back it
yeah.
up. Then back it up.
Yeah,
Should I have not said you love Daddy? Okay. I
no,
said-
you got to phrase it like sons. Should I go and go through the whole pain
Well,
in the
now you're
ass
leading in
process?
the opposite direction.
I love leading.
You do. You're a good leader. Oh, wait, you're a bad leader.
Yeah. I just love manipulation. That's what I love.
Yeah, you're a good
Yeah,
manipulator.
yeah.
We got to get out of here or take a
Oh,
break at
okay.
least. We'll
Well-
take a quick break, and we will be back with more of Corporate Time. Well, that's a funny segment. Something out of nothing. Old Bon Jovi. I do think about getting my vocal cords repaired all the time. It's the same amount of time I think about getting my hips repaired.
Yeah.
I'm a broken
Well,
fucking man.
well, that's
I'm
the thing.
lucky I can do this.
At a certain point in time, you're just
Everything
like,
breaks.
just let it go. How much is it? Also, like, how much is it really going to help it?
Well,
You know.
that's the part that I hate because sometimes that's just based on your internal body dice roll. All right. So this is our last one for Tuesday, and I can still do a voicemail.
Yeah, let's do a voicemail.
Let me pull them back up. We did get some good ones. All right. I will bring us back. This is 8. And 3, 2. Welcome back to A Corporate Time.
Let's do another voicemail.
All right, buddy. Let's try this one. Do you remember moving in with Crystal?
Yes, I do.
Okay. I guess I do remember moving in with Andrea. I do have a bad memory. It was at the little
Andrea
house.
moved in with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she
I don't
moved
really
in.
like to phrase it that way. I don't think women like
Well,
that
she was a
either.
child when
She was. Well, a lot of people don't know that I was there when the doctors
yeah.
delivered Andrea.
Like
I was a much younger man, but I
yeah,
watched her being delivered from her mother.
she went from high school, college, and then moved in with this old man.
Straight to me, moved in with the old man. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. So here's a moving in question.
What's up, T&D? Shirt and Randy. I just moved in with my girlfriend, and I'm having some sleep issues. She is a super aggressive, violent sleeper. This goes beyond, the good old-fashioned, sleep humps. I've been punched. I've been kicked. Sometimes I'll wake up and her legs are straight up in the air. She has licked my back in my sleep, and I don't know what to do about this. I don't know if you have any history with psychotic sleepers, and I also want to go on the record that if I'm found dead, it probably happened in her sleep. Thanks.
Interesting. My daughter's like that. That's Maisie will kick.
Oh yeah,
The
Max is like, I
S out of
cannot
me,
sleep
dude.
with Max.
Yeah, it's too aggressive. It's too crazy. And Maisie's
He'll
got
hoof my genitals all night long.
Maisie kicked me one time with one of her dance legs right in the frickin' I almost cursed because it hurt so bad. You know when you get punched in the nose and you just your eyes just start
Yeah,
watering?
yeah.
It was one of those. And I'm like, I'm out. I just grabbed my pillow and went right back to my room. I was like, I can't do that, man.
So I see that older people eventually evolve into sleeping. And this is an
Alone.
old school thing. No, well, like
Oh.
2 separate beds,
Yeah.
right? Like they'll have 2 twin beds in the room
Yeah.
instead of like 1 king.
So you can masturbate when your wife goes to sleep.
And so that tells me that eventually you get to the point where you're like, what are we doing here? We're sleeping in one bed because of tradition, and this is how it's supposed
I mean,
to
I
be.
guess sleep wherever
But-
you want to, or if sometimes it's comforting. Like, it is comforting to me to sleep next to my wife. I sleep better that way.
So there's that too, and then Crystal feels that's an emotional thing.
Right,
Like you need
right.
2 robots. Then you can sleep in different rooms. I mean, you can sleep in different
Well, I mean,
houses.
I guess, but I mean, those 2 robots, how much fun are they having?
Well, that's
Horrible.
The thing. But this is a thing on like social media. I've seen it on TikTok where it's like, and the cliche is like, hey, if we want to make love or whatever, we could do that. That ain't sleeping. When we go to sleep, we just go to different rooms.
I
Or
like
let's
to sit in it afterwards. though.
or let's.
I like to stay
Yeah.
within the essence of lovemaking.
Or even if you like snuggling, you can snuggle for a little bit. But then, like, who falls asleep snuggling?
I can't see you snuggling.
No, I've
I
never,
can't see
I'm
you
not there.
snuggling.
Yeah.
I can't see you doing
Yeah,
it.
yeah. It's like,
It's like asking a Rottweiler to snuggle in a junkyard or
yeah,
something.
I'm like hugging a tree.
Yeah, you're like very
yeah,
stiff.
Yeah,
Your
There's
mannerism,
no, I'm
and
loving.
now with your special broken hands,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
how do you even rub my back?
Crystal's been wanting it for years. Still wants it. I'm like, when do you give up? When do you just give up
On the romance?
on the love, and then the snuggle, and then
You can't even write her a poem.
Yeah, she's
You're-
almost there. Almost there.
She gave up?
Where like her robot.
She told me she
light
gave up.
will be dead
She
soon.
told me she gave up.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
she
yeah,
told
yeah.
me I needed to give up. Because remember when we were fighting more? And she's like, you just need to give up like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
do. And I was like,
Yeah,
I can't
it's
give
better
up.
that way.
I can't give up.
But I know people down in Miami, older couple, and they live in 2 separate houses, and they're married, and they've been married for 30 years.
Yeah,
or
I
something like that.
I don't mind that.
And,
I'm okay with that.
And then and sometimes they'll stay in the same
They're
house.
rich.
But well, they met each other that way. And maybe that's because they were older.
Oh, I
when
know
they
other people that have done that. Yeah.
But they met each other in like their early 30s, and they already had 2 houses on the
Yeah,
same
so
block.
might as
and they
well keep 'em.
They kept them, and then they just the 30 years later, that's how they live.
Well, when Maisie,
and it works for them,
when
and that
Maisie-
makes sense.
Yeah, when Maisie and Andrea left to go to the dance competition earlier last week, and I had 3 days here by myself, I've said this before, and I'm honest about it. I'm very good at living by myself. Everything is clean and efficient. I can cook for one person effectively and keep things nice. I like it. I enjoy the quiet. Because of doing this and talking so much, sometimes I just like shutting the F up and just sitting with my thoughts.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like that a lot. I'm
Yeah.
weird like that. I'm a weird, depressed-looking, sad little man that like.
But what about scheduling all the maintenance and the bills?
I
and
can
all
do that.
the-
If
all
I
the-
can do it all online quietly. If
Okay,
I
yeah.
now have to call people and talk to real humans, can't do it. I can't do it because I want to hide. I want to hide so bad.
Yeah,
I've been
yeah.
going through that for a while now. I like hiding.
Oh, I know. You'll eventually be the old man that never leaves the house.
Oh yeah,
I'm
looking
I'll
forward
call
to
it right now.
It's called
Like,
Richard Simmons.
yeah, no, I know.
I want to be that. I
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
be
No, I know you
Orlando.
do. Yeah.
I want to be Orlando's Richard Simmons.
Yeah. And then
And I want people talking about it too. I want like Johnny from Johnny's house.
Yeah,
going on the air and be like, "Hey, what's up with old Dan in his house?"
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
my Johnny voice.
They haven't
by the way.
seen him in a
Yeah.
while.
And they're like, "Is he still in there?" And like,
Yeah.
can anybody talk to him?
And you have some sort of assistant that is like everybody thinks
they'll
they've
leak a message.
taken all
occasionally.
your monies.
Yeah.
They
yeah.
got you to sign everything
Occasionally,
over.
I'll be like, occasionally you'll snap a photo of me, like leaving a Wawa.
Mhm.
Like I rushed out to get something, and somebody took a photo of me, and I'm like, don't look at me. I'm an animal. Like that kind of a thing.
You know, that happens a lot more than you think it would. I've personally heard about it like more than 3 or 4 times about the quintessential someone moving in with an elderly person and getting that person, usually as a family member, but to sign everything over to them.
We had an elected official down the road that's being accused of it right now
Yeah.
in this city.
And I'm always surprised, like, man, like, I guess
And when I was a little kid,
you get to a point where the person, the elderly person, just doesn't have any idea.
But that was a joke my dad would make. Like when I would mow these old ladies' lawns and stuff, like all around Brandywine and DeLand.
Yeah.
And I'd mow the grass, and my dad and I'd be making jokes about it. But like only now are we like, oh my God, that's horrible. I can remember my dad was like, if you play your cards right, old Miss McGillicuddy will put you in the will and you can take all her jewels. You know, like I remember when it was like a thing.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh, you would be nice to the old lady and then get her to sign
Yeah.
some money to you. It wasn't frowned upon. Nowadays, it's like, oh my God, it's elderly abuse. This is horrible that you took advantage. But it didn't used to be that way. It used to be that most elderly people, I think, as they got confused, they just assumed, and we assumed that we were going to take advantage of them and steal their jewels.
So, like in the situations I've seen, is the elderly person, it's a family member, right? And then the other family finds out about it. But the person...
They're mad they didn't do it first.
That, and...
Your sour grape.
And they can't go back, even though the person's still alive, because the person's lost it enough where now the judge or anybody will be like, oh, well, the person's lost their mind.
Yeah.
Like, they can't
Where
do
does
it now.
It go then? It goes to the state.
No, it goes to the person that stole it from them because they got them to sign it. Like, if it's... Even if it was when they lost their mind, now it's documented that they lost their mind, so it can't be undone.
You know who's losing his mind? You know it's happening?
What?
Dog the Bounty Hunter. I know I bring it up a lot.
I think it never. I think the people that don't lose their mind is the anomaly.
He's
like
slowing
Andrew's
down.
grandfather is definitely the anomaly. Like everybody else,
Oh,
just
yeah,
they go crazy.
He's 101 years old. He drove over to see the new baby. Andrew's brother had a baby. First to see the baby. First to see the baby. He's the 101-year-old dude.
That is impressive.
He drove himself over there. There's just a picture of him holding the baby.
Again, I love to talk to him because
I did ask Andrea. She's like, it might be harder than we.
Yeah, a little more.
It might be harder than we think. It's the headphones.
Yeah,
and it's kind of how we do the show. You know?
Yeah, it's all confusing and fast.
Screaming and yelling.
Hang on!
Wait, I think these men are trying to steal my jewels.
We're going to ask you 10,000 questions.
Here, sign this.
In fact, I'm going to ask you a question, then answer it in a confusing way.
There's no reason for you to be here. We're just going to scream questions at you. Here, sign this, sign this.
Yeah.
All right, we got to get out of here, buddy.
Uh-oh. Bye-bye.
All right. That was a funny segment. That was a really funny segment. All right, we got to do an intro. Are we doing any for Wednesday more? Are we going to load any more?
No, that's it. Wednesday's done, and Tuesday's done.
EJ, how you doing, buddy? EJ, did you get, I forgot to ask you while you were on here, and now I see you in here. Did you get any special Pokemon for going to New York? Are you going to bring that up or talk about it any? Were there any... Did you get any special, like, digital Pokemons? Oh, he did. Cool. So you will be talking about that. Awesome. Well, I'm glad you had a good time, buddy. Guys, have a great rest of your day. Thanks for hanging out with us.